First of all, don't forget to support the channel by clicking the subscribe button and giving it a like to receive updates on new content. Episode 1: The Journey to Learn English. A Story of Adventure. My name is Lena, and this is the story of how I learned English. It wasn't easy, but it was one of the most exciting adventures of my life. I want to share my story with you because if I can learn English, I believe anyone can. A new beginning. I grew up in a small village where everyone spoke the same language, my mother tongue. We didn't need English for anything, but deep inside, I had always been curious. I loved hearing English songs, watching movies, and reading about people who spoke it. To me, English was like a secret code that opened doors to new worlds. But learning English felt impossible. The words sounded strange, and I couldn't understand the grammar. Why do they say I am going and not just I go? I often asked myself. It was confusing, and I didn't know where to start. Then, one day, something changed. I remember it clearly. I was sitting in my room, scrolling through videos online, when I found an interview with one of my favorite musicians. The whole conversation was in English. I wanted so badly to understand what they were saying, but I couldn't catch a single word. That's when I decided I was going to learn English, no matter how hard it was. The first step: learning the basics. At first, I didn't know how to start. Should I learn grammar first? Vocabulary? Maybe listening to music would help? It felt overwhelming, but then I thought, let's keep it simple. I decided to start with the basics. I bought a small notebook and wrote down simple words. Apple, dog, house, happy. I made it a goal to learn 5 new words every day. At first, it was hard to remember them all, but I kept repeating them, writing them in sentences like, the dog is happy, or I eat an apple. Slowly, things started to make sense. I was building my own little English world, word by word. The challenges along the way. But of course, it wasn't all easy. There were many times when I wanted to give up. English grammar was especially tricky. For example, the rules for past tense confused me. I walked, I ate, I went. Why were they all different? I couldn't understand why the verbs changed like that. Then there was the issue of pronunciation. English words often don't sound the way they look. I remember trying to pronounce though and through and thinking, this language is impossible. But every time I felt frustrated, I reminded myself why I started. I wanted to unlock that secret world. A big turning point: finding my voice. One of the most important moments in my journey came when I found the courage to start speaking. For the longest time, I was afraid. I thought, what if I make mistakes? What if people laugh at me? But one day, I met a girl from another country at a cafe in the city. She was sitting alone, reading a book. I wanted to say hello, but I knew she didn't speak my language. Then I thought, this is my chance. I can try to speak English. My heart was pounding, but I went up to her and said, hello, my name is Lena. She smiled and said, hi Lena, nice to meet you. We started talking, slowly at first, using simple words. She was kind and patient, and I realized that making mistakes was okay. What mattered was trying. After that day, I wasn't so afraid anymore. I looked for more opportunities to speak English. I joined an online language exchange where I could talk to people from different countries. Every conversation made me feel a little more confident. Learning through fun. Another thing that helped me was finding fun ways to learn. Watching movies and listening to music in English became part of my study routine. I would watch a movie with subtitles, and if I didn't understand a word, I paused and wrote it down. Slowly, I began to recognize words and phrases like, how are you? And what's up? Music was another big help. I love singing, so I started learning the lyrics to my favorite English songs. At first, I didn't know what the words meant, but over time, I started to understand the lyrics. Singing along helped me improve my pronunciation too. One of my favorite songs was Imagine by John Lennon. I remember the first time I could sing the whole song without looking at the lyrics. It was such a proud moment for me. The importance of practice, the most important thing I learned on my journey, is that practice is everything. There is no magic trick to learning a language. You just have to keep practicing. I made it a habit to study a little English every day, even if it was only for 10 or 15 minutes. I practiced speaking with my friends, writing short stories in English, and reading simple books. Every day, I made a little progress. Sometimes it was hard to see, but looking back, I realize how far I've come. Reaching my goal, after about a year of consistent practice, something amazing happened. I was watching an English movie, one that I had seen before, and I realized that I didn't need the subtitles anymore. I could understand almost everything. It wasn't just the movies, though. I could talk to people more easily, and I wasn't afraid to make mistakes. English no longer felt like a mystery to me. It was becoming a part of my life. Of course, I still make mistakes, and there are always new things to learn. But I'm not scared of English anymore. In fact, I love it. Learning this language has opened so many doors for me. I've made friends from all over the world, traveled to new places, and discovered books and music I never would have known. My advice for other learners. Now, I want to share some advice with anyone who is learning English. First, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes them, and it's part of the learning process. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Second, find fun ways to learn. Whether it's watching movies, singing songs, or playing games, make English a part of your daily life in a way that you enjoy. Finally, be patient with yourself. Learning a language takes time, but if you stick with it, you'll see progress. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about improving a little bit every day. The adventure continues. My journey to learn English isn't over. There's still so much more to explore, new words to learn, and conversations to have. But now, I'm not scared of the challenge. I know that with practice, patience, and a little bit of courage, I can keep getting better. And so can you. No matter where you are on your English journey, remember that it's an adventure, a chance to open new doors, meet new people, and discover new things about yourself. Enjoy the ride.